Hello, I'm back. What's up, Justin?
What's up? Welcome back.
Welcome back.
All right.
Yep, I'm going to be doing X3 Hundo to conclude the trilogy, and then of 100% runs, and then right after this we'll be doing X4 as well by Radio Optimism. So kind of similar to Justin's run, I'm going to go ahead and let him count me off, and then I'll just let him take commentary from there.
All right. So in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
I think I started on 1.
That's fine.
I didn't mean to, but I was like, wait a minute. Anyway,
that's cool. So I don't know if Darren's going to be in the call for this. But intro, you have quite a wait before you get movement. You have about 36 seconds before you begin. So just like in the intro of X2, there's not really much in the way of RNG that's going to get in your way. So the intro here, though, is divided into 3 sections. You have the X section, and then when you get to a cutscene, there's he's going to get captured, actually. Spoiler alert. And then Zero will come down, and you'll actually get to play as him for a little bit. It's kind of the new addition to the X series. You actually get to play as Zero. And then once Zero frees X from their clutches, you'll get control again, and he'll fight the boss. So Zero comes with a lot of neat things. He has a much larger health gauge than X does right now, 28 units of health. He also has a green charge that you can charge up to, and he also has a Z-Saber. Man, we really like to get that Z-Saber because it's really nice. So he's used in conjunction of the Z-Saber and wall kicking there. The Z-Saber, when you use it as you wall climb, you get actually a little bit of extra height with it. And he actually deboosts off one of those little mace balls to not fall down. And then he frees X there with defeating Mac with one of the buster charges and the saber. And then he actually frees X off of the little robot there. Now, unlike a lot of the other fights in the game, you actually have to be holding the charge button when X starts walking here in the middle. Otherwise, you actually lose your charge. Not sure why that happens. But we have Mo the Giant here. And he's going to begin with a full charge shot and then just follow up with green shots. And he went for a CFO shot, similar like the X2 intro. But he was a little early on the shot. But that was he's able to charge up to a full charge shot a little sooner. And he's able to get an additional 4 damage that way. And unlike X1 and X2, Dash Lemons don't work on the Mavericks, but they do work on the intro boss here. That's the only boss they really work on. So we'll see Zero a little bit later in the game, but right now, X is going to take control. So most of the X3 routes are on the category scale of things, always start with Buffalo first, but in 100%, we actually have to do Tunnel Rhino first to get his drill weapon. And this stage is actually pretty brutal. A lot of the enemies here, if you touch them, will deal a lot of damage. I just see Darren there just played it safe and not touch that guy, because that will deal 4 damage. Now, if you touch the balls of dirt initially, it's 6 damage, but when you shoot the dirt off and touch them, they're only 4. And similar to the X Hunters, you will have a trio of Mavericks that you got to face here in this game, but we'll get to them a little bit later. So he's doing a lot of precise jumps to get under the boulders there. Those boulders deal a lot of damage if you touch them, and he needs to have as much health as possible to get to the mini boss here. So he's going to unload that charge shot and then going to step inside of his hitbox and start double mashing. Just like that. Very, very fast kill. So This category has been ran before at BSB. I actually did this category at the first BSB, but we've had some new strats and new changes. Some of the fights since then, and the time has gone down a lot since then. So he's not picking up any of the upgrades in this stage because 2 of them you actually need the charged Tri-Thunder, which we don't even have access to yet. And the sub-tank is actually accessible now, but it's a little easier to pick up when we come back here. And another important thing about this fight in particular, as you see, Rhino, all he's doing right now is going back and forth along the ground. If you actually died before the halfway point of the stage, that won't affect his AI, but if you die after the halfway point, it does make him a lot more hostile, and he does have a lot more attacks at his disposal. And as you see, when Rhino gets down to a certain amount of HP, he's going to do the Rainbow Charge there, which deals a lot more damage. But once he gets down to low health, you want to see him stop halfway across the room, and he'll change direction to try to fake you out. And you want to be off the wall when he runs into the wall, or he will knock you down. So the second Maverick we now go to Buffalo because we can use the drills to actually get the heart tank. The heart tank is guarded by some ice blocks. You either have to have the Tornado Fang, or you have to have the right armor to destroy the blocks. So what he's doing, he's actually, well, he was going to try for a trick, I think, but he didn't get a chance to do it. You'll probably see it later. But as you see, the drills will carve a pathway for him to get to the heart tank. And he's using the ice physics there to get a lot of extra speed. So you see these midpoint rooms that Darren's going in, and they're empty. He has to go through a room like this in every stage, but those will come into play after this stage. So the next thing he's going to do now is the bootless jump to get to the heart tank. It's similar to Iceless and X1, but this one's a little easier because you have an easy setup to it. He's going to double kick off of the side of that wall there, and he gets it second try. Otherwise, you would normally have to go over, get the air dash boots, and then come back to get the the sub tank. So the air dash boots here, he can go left and right, and also up, which you'll see that a lot, especially in the upcoming stages. So he just jumped off of that little slope there to get some extra speed. So he's going to do a CFO strat here on the Lizard Buffalo. The boss room is actually pretty large, so he's able to do this pretty effectively. So you'll see that he does a Buster Shot, he'll fire a Lemon, and then Buster Shot again. And also, he's trying to get himself in the air when Buffalo decides to do something, and that actually forces him to just turn around and run into the wall. And if you can do this in a rhythmic kind of way, the boss is pretty easy. You don't have to worry about him really doing anything. So with 2 Mavericks down, we get a cutscene similar to X2, where now in this game we have an introduction to Bit and Byte, and Val actually returns from X1. So this is where those mid rooms come into play. During the next 6 stages of Mavericks that he has to face, he could potentially run into Bit and Byte and has to fight them at some point during the rest of the 8 Mavericks. Bit will always show up in one of the next 3 Mavericks stages that he has to defeat. He has to prepare for the fact that he could fight him, so he may be charging up like a weapon ahead of time in preparation that he'll fight him. But once you fight him, he won't appear anywhere else in the 3-stage block, and then Bite will show up at any point during the last 3 stages. So Neon Tiger is next because we're going to get the Buster upgrade, and all the items are easily accessible. So the sub-tank is first. He's going to do a little air dash to squeeze under that little dragonfly there. And now he may try to position this drill. He's going to try to have the drill hit the block, turn around quickly, and have it despawn. So if the drill is hitting a block that can be destroyed, when you despawn it off screen and you turn around quickly to respawn it, it actually disappears instantly as it was broken. So it makes you don't have to stop to wait for the block to be destroyed. So just like in X2, when we have the boots and the Buster upgrade, we have access to the neon jumps. And he's going to hold this second neon charge because he's going to use it to try to neon jump right into the Worm Seeker and go right into ice, and he gets it barely. So that's really super fast. Normally, the Worm Seeker is digging into the ceiling when you kill him, the old strat. So here in a minute, you're going to see him charge up the ice once again. But first, he's going to use the drill to disable hitboxes of the enemies, so he's able to dash through them without taking damage. And then right here, he's going to charge up, and then he's going to swap to ice. There's a possibility that Bit can show up here in this room, and if he does, he'll have the charged ice strat ready, and he does, which is really good because you do not want to see him show up in Seahorse, and I'll explain that in a minute. So he's using a couple of CFO strats again. He's placing a couple of ice ahead of time, and he's manipulating Bit's attack pattern like that. Good fight. So he's able to get like 2 charged ice strats, or 2 charged ice shots for 5 damage, and he's going to use normal ice to get him down to 1 HP, and then he's going to finish him off with a lemon. And the reason he doesn't finish him off with his weakness weapon is because it would trigger his explosion animation, which costs like 10 to 11 seconds. And we actually, if we keep at least one of them alive, it makes for an easy Doppler 1 boss fight. So you saw the neon jumps to get the heart tank, and now we're seeing him use the charge ice as a soft weakness against Neon Tiger. Now, similar to Overdrive Ostrich in X2, whenever Neon Tiger does an action, he cancels his iframes if he's in him when he does a move. So you see, if you look at his energy bar, he takes like 2 quick damage in succession. And then what Darren does, whenever Neon Tiger is doing an attack, he's charging up for a regular full charge shot. If you fire a charge shot at Neon Tiger, if he's not doing anything, he'll bring up his claw to block the shot. So that's a pretty decent fight. Only 1 charge. Next is Gravity Beetle, and one thing you've noticed is that we're able to skip the stage intros just by holding Y. You can't do that in X1 or X2. So he's gonna do a double neon there to get up to the top ledge. He's already fought Bit, so he's not gonna bother charging up for an ice shield. So he's able to have a little bit more freedom with his dashing and firing. So he's going to do another, it's not really a bootless jump. Well, it kind of is, but there's no like really like specific double kick setup. You just do a full jump to get to that item. It's actually a different rod armor form. And we'll talk about those a little bit later as well. So you just see the utilization of the neon jump there to be grounded on 1 frame, and then he's able to jump when he fires the neon shot. The neon shots actually ground X for 1 frame during an air dash, so he's able to get a jump. That's a pretty good stage. So he's got the charged Race Blaster set up. He's going to release it right in front of Beetle to get the Race Blaster pod to appear. The pod itself will deal 5 damage to Gravity Beetle. Just like that. And then he's going to fire Race Blasters. And then what's going to happen when Gravity Beetle gets down to a low enough health, he's going to fire his little gravity well, and that actually speeds up Gravity Beetle's iframes. So he allows him to fire the gravity well into the air like that, just so he can damage him faster. That's a new improvement to the Gravity Beetle fight. So the next stage is Toxic Seahorse, another climbing heavy stage. X3 is very known for its vertical stages. It'll test your wall climbing. So neon jumps and the up dashes are a big tool in this stage to have. So you see he up dashes. He'll probably prepare a neon jump here in just a second, right there. Yep. And he does a second one with the second charge shot. So since we've already fought Bit, we don't have to worry about him in this stage, because Bit is weakness to the ice weapon. So is the mini boss in this stage as well. And Darren wouldn't have enough ice for all 3 bosses in this stage without getting some sort of health refill. That's a nice little strat there. He charges up the Frost Shield. When you let go of the charge underwater like that, it creates a little ice block. And once it disembarks from the Buster, he can actually wall kick off of it. So if you see me in Centipede and X2 where I wall kicked off of a block, it's kind of the same thing. Nice quick kill there on the mini boss. So a little bit more climbing, and then we're gonna go into the Toxic Seahorse quick kill. A couple of bosses here have very weird iframe properties. To explain Seahorse a little bit, whenever you hit him in the air with his Frost Shield, he has a period of time where he'll be stunned. But the iframes will actually run out before he jumps out of his stun. So during that small period of time, he's going to be able to mash Frost Shield into Seahorse without triggering the iframes, and it deals the weakness damage. So you see right here, he hits him in the air, mashes a little quickly, lets him jump out of his stun, so he's in the air again, and then he just repeats the process. And he actually intentionally takes damage so that he's inside of his hitbox when he starts mashing, so none of the shots will miss. You're only allowed to shoot 2 Frost Shields on screen at any one time. They would have to be destroyed before you could fire another, so it's very important to not miss any shots. So we're going into the last 3 Mavericks here. Now Bite can show up in any of the next 3 stages, and Blast Hornet starts off with a really crazy elevator skip. Ooh, but he didn't get the first neon to really do it, so he's kind of having to improvise here, and he's getting shot down because of these those enemies right there. They fire missiles and they throw cannonballs at you. So he's charging up the acid shot that he just got from Seahorse for the Shuriken mini-boss here. When the fight begins, he's going to walk forward, he's going to let the shot go, and 2 acid shots are going to come out. One's going to hit him, but the other one's going to go over. And then, as you see, the shuriken hits it on the second pass. And then he fires a acid into the air and starts charging for the next acid shot. So it's really fast. So now he's going to break free the robot armor that's hiding in this hangar with the drill, and it's going to go swap to Ray Splasher. He offs it, you barely see it, but he shot down the right armor, and he automatically gets it in his inventory. He does not have to board that right armor to get it. And now he's going to do a neon jump to get up this wall to reach the heart tank, and then he's going to have a full charge ready to go in case Bite shows up. So if Bite shows up here, what's going to happen? Well, nope, he didn't show up here, so we'll save that for maybe the next stage. It really doesn't matter where Bite shows up because you got plenty of drill to really use it. You're not really overusing drill in any one stage. So he's charging up the gravity well. What's he going to do right away? He's going to release this charged gravity well. And once the well goes off screen, the Hornet's going to be stunned. He's going to pause, cancel that, and then swap to the Frost Shield. And then he's able to damage the Hornet with an ice shot. Quickly swap over to gravity well, fire an uncharged shot, and while the uncharged gravity well is dealing damage, he's holding charge up for a full charge, and he's just repeating the process. So he's doing 6 damage at first. He's swapping to ice, does 1 quick damage with the ice, swaps back to gravity well, fires it for 4 damage, and then he lets go of the charge for 6, and then it repeats. Now this stage is probably one of the most technical, demanding stages in the game, the Volt Catfish stage. He has to do neon jumps in a spiked elevator section to get up to a heart tank, and then he has to do the same to get up to the body armor. In addition, you see the parasitic bomb. It's similar to the drill, in fact, that it disables the hitbox. Okay, here comes the neon jump. He gets the release neon, and he gets the press. Oh, he didn't get high enough, and he actually hit the spike part of the wall there and ended up dying. That's unfortunate. Yeah, as you do a neon jump, if you continue to hold the jump button, you get some jump off of that. So if you don't hold jump long enough, you won't get enough height. That's unfortunate. So he's going to take 2 this. And some deaths are really punishing. That one lost quite a bit of time. There he goes. He gets it that time. And he gets the reversed Buster kick there. Yeah, if you want to practice neon jumps, this is like the stage to do them in, because they're very, very handy, and they're all basically required, especially for that one. Unless you want to stand there and charge up the gravity well and then just let it go, because there's a platform there at the bottom of that shaft. When you let the charge go, the gravity well actually pulls the lift upward and lets you get up to this capsule. But that's super slow. So he's going to charge up his Buster again because he has to have the full charge in case Bite decides to show up. And he's here. So what he's going to do, he's going to swap to Drill right when he gets in front up to Bite. And he's going to take 6 damage. So he's going to poke him with this Drill 5 times. But if he goes too far, he actually loses the Drill. And then on the last Drill there before death, he's going to swap over to Buster with a full charge and get right next to the door so that when he gets control, he goes right through. So right up above X now is a ride armor platform that he's going to hop into. He's finally going to utilize the robot armor, and he needs it to bust open a hole at the bottom of this electric lined vertical section to get down here to get the sub tank. And now, one of the big reasons Frost Shield is so good, when you kill enemies that are touching the ground or the ceiling with it, as you see, he's getting nothing but health drops. So if you're struggling in this game and you have that ice weapon, use it to force health drops. The same thing happens with the acid, but for weapon drops. Very handy weapons. So for the catfish fight, he's going to do a lot of CFO strats here with the acid, uncharged acid, and then he's going to swap one slot over to Buster. And he's going to try to deal damage very quickly. Hopefully if Catfish gives some good attack RNG, Darren's going to try to get Catfish's health really low here. Probably not. Oh, that jolt, he may have gotten his jolt. Yeah, he did. He waited a little too long. So, okay, so when Catfish jumps to the middle of the screen, he's going to get that little jolt in the middle of the screen. If he gets that jolt, the charged drill is basically pointless because normally without him getting the jolt, that charged drill will deal 3 damage. But as you see, it only dealt 2. And also, when the drills hit Catfish, they actually become broken. It breaks the drills, and they just zip right off the screen. So he was a little late on the first drill shot, but no big deal. Okay, so we haven't seen Val yet. It turns out Val is a secret stage that you can only access from 3 areas: Blizzard Buffalo, Volt Catfish, and Crush Crawfish. But Val only shows up at a stage that you have yet to complete, so that eliminates the Buffalo stage. Now, we could have gone to Val's secret stage in Catfish, but we don't have the Triad Thunder, which we kind of need for protection to not take damage. And it's a lot faster to access Val's secret stage from here. So he's using the Hawk armor for hover ability, better mobility, and he's going to try to take it through the gap here. Nice. That's really tricky, by the way. So Val's secret stage is just below this little health refill here. There's a fake floor that you fall through. Now, the reason why we're going to fight Val is because we're actually going to destroy him so we can get access to the Z-Saber in Doppler 2. This is actually required for the 100% category. So we chased off Bit and Bite when we fought them, but we actually want to destroy Val. And his only weakness that we have available is the Race Blaster. Spinning Blade is the other weakness, but Crawfish has that weapon. So this is like the fastest Val strat, and you're going to see Darren is going to use solely Race Blaster here. He's going to do what's called an air dash cancel. Whenever with Race Blaster, you see him do a little short air dash, and then fires another Race Blaster afterwards. That cancels the first Race Blaster and allows him to charge up for the Race Blaster pod while the Race Blaster is going off. So this is all precise. If he misses a shot, it could be like not run over, but he'll have to reset. So, oh, you see that he has no energy left, but he was able to get one more pod off, and that's because the weapon bar only keeps track of full units of energy. Half units do not show, but as long as you have at least a half a unit of energy, you're able to use the charged weapon. So with a little bit of specific math, it works out that you barely have enough energy to finish him off. So Darren's using the Triad Thunder. He's mashing shot up to 4 times while the charge is going off to invert the triangle and to keep the Triad Thunder going. And that actually helps to eliminate those little drill wings that he had to get through. And not only that, having the Triad Thunder there as he climbs protects him from any debris that would hit him. So not much left in this stage to do but kill Crush Crawfish. he has to get into the engine room of the submarine, destroy the engine, make the submarine basically turn 90 degrees, so it becomes another climbing area, and then the boss fight. So this quick kill is a lot easier to do than the Toxic Seahorse one. It's basically a CFO strat where you just start the Tri-Thunder, hold charge, and then release the charge in the corner of the room, and he'll do an Earthquake Punch, and it just does like 3 damage a frame. Now the trick is, Crushed Crawfish can grab you out of this move if he's too close to you. So you're going to see Darren, he's going to let him run forward completely. Once he stops, he just goes the other direction, and Crawfish will not get to him before the punch goes off. It's very important to let Crawfish run his whole distance. So if you like rush up to him and do that, and then you try to do the Earthquake Punch, he will grab you. So without that death, that's not a bad time. It would have been like a low 29, I think. So we've done all the 8 Mavericks, but we're missing a few items. And this is where we do the revisits. First, we'll go to Gravity Beetle to get the Heart Tank that we could not get before because it was blocked by a couple of blocks. And those blocks will only go away once Blast Hornet is defeated. So he's going to do a couple of neons, just like the first time. But he's going to air dash up to get to that ledge. And he's out. And now we go to Tunnel Rhino to get all the items that are in that stage. And you're going to see why we go to Tunnel Rhino last and not first. So now that we got access to the Charged Tri-Thunder, there's a couple of boulders that are blocking a couple of items. And also, this Tri-Thunder is super handy because it basically mows through all the enemies here in one shot. So you see, he does the Earthquake Punch. As soon as the ropes are frayed and the boulder drops, he's going to pause, swap to any weapon to cancel the Earthquake Punch because it's such a long animation, and you have no movement until that's over. And then he's going to use the air dash there to get to the sub-tank. He's going to use the parasonic bomb to disable its hitbox so he can just move right through. Easy peasy. And he'll use the Tri-Thunder more right here. Gets the boulder skip again. Does an air dash this time to make it movement as close to the walls as possible. Oh, he almost got clipped into the spikes. That'd have been crazy, but that didn't happen. So if you go too fast, that boulder will try to push you. Luckily, he got to the wall, or he'd been in trouble. So the helmet is the very last upgrade we get before, and this is why we do Rhino last. And that's because of the radar here. You see, it shows a map of the stage, but any uncollected items will show up within red, like little red little zones. If you enter any of the 8 Maverick stages with that helmet upgrade, it will automatically spawn the map before you can even do movement. So if we went to Gravity Beetle second instead of first, you would get that radar and you would lose 5 seconds. So Doppler 1, you're going to be utilizing a couple of neons. There's actually an Easter egg in this stage. Similar to the Hadoken and the Shoryuken, there is a special power-up, and it's the gold armor. In order to access the gold armor, you need to get all of the upgrades except for the enhancement chips, which you never got to see because in every stage there is a capsule, but 4 of them are blue, 4 of them are red. And the red ones actually contain an enhancement chip that will enhance 1 of your 4 armor parts. However, if you refrain from picking any of them up, you can actually get the one in this stage that gives you all 4 enhancements at once. So in essence, you're only allowed to enter one pink capsule per game, and this is the one you want to enter, and you need to enter this one to get all of the items that you can get. Furthermore, you need to have full health when you enter the passageway to get to this capsule. So it has a Hadouken Shoryuken requirement that you need full health to get it. But once you have it, there you go. You saw him turn gold. So now, in addition to everything, all the upgrades that he has the double air dash. He has HP regeneration when standing still. That is the helmet chip. He has a body chip, where he gets further reduction in his damage. And he gets the arm chip, which is the hypercharge. And that hypercharge is going to be a big factor in why the new route is really, really fast. So since we kept Bit and Bite alive, we have an easy fight here. He missed the charge Race Splasher shot there at the start. Not a big deal. You just go behind him, just shoot Race Splasher. You take a lot of damage when he get hit by those little orbs, but you should win the damage race. So we destroyed Vol, which gives us a different Dupper 2 stage. If he was alive, the stage would be all destroyed, and you actually have easier enemies to get through. But since we killed him, we have a harder Dopper 2 stage where we have much stronger enemies that we got to get through. But in addition to that, we have a couple water sections. We have the water section here before the mini boss, which Zero can actually fight, and this is kind of the idea of getting the saber. And the last water section is actually the boss of the stage. So we're swapping to Zero because we're going to sacrifice him to get his saber. And Darren's going to try to do the Zero double glitch. He's going to try to kill mosquitoes on the far right side of the area. He's got to get him grabbed, and then he missed it. Oh, can he still get it though? It's careful to not let Zero die. Oh, he's just going to play it safe. Yeah, if you let Zero die, you can't get the saber. Zero has to kill mosquitoes. Okay, so you see Zero's still alive, but he's basically too damaged to continue. So he gives X his saber. So the saber replaces the highest level charge that you currently have. So there's normally a pink charge and a red charge for the normal X in his armor. But now that he's got the saber, that green charge replaces the red. And now here comes Ellie Skip. He gets one shot for Explosion Skip, and hopefully he'll get it. So you have to keep a helmet on screen long enough to not allow the explosion to load. And the clown was pretty good, but we'll see if he gets Explosion Skip. Okay, so here's where the Hyper Seed comes into play. He's going to be utilizing something called the Hyper Seed Conservation glitch, and he's going to be using second shot skip. So he fires the saber. Oh, he got it. He got Explosion Skip. First time ever we get to see this at Buckeye Speed Bash. So what happens is that by keeping one helmet in memory, he's able to lead it up. But also, the snails actually, if they move, they actually alter a bit value in the code that makes Explosion Skip happen. So what happens there when he beats the boss, if he is standing on the floor like that, he gets a faster Explosion Skip because it plays the fanfare and he's able to teleport quickly. If he was in the air, if you remember AGDQ 2014 when Z-Wing ran this game, he did an air dash when he got Explosion Skip, and X just falls to the floor. That's actually the slower Explosion Skip, but you still save time with it. So with this the shot skip, that I was mentioning and the Hyper C conservation, this makes oh, you did it for swag. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's true. But now using these two tricks that Darren is utilizing, it actually changes up the boss rush route. So what he's doing is that he's going into Hyper C first. He's going to fire the first charge of Hyper C, and it takes away 2 units of energy. And then he's going to get close to the wall, and right as he fires the second shot, he's going to wall kick to cancel that animation. Not only does it cancel the animation, it cancels the 2 units that would have depleted for firing that second shot. Plus, the game counts him as firing the second shot. So the very next shot that he fires is the saber. And Darren's having a little trouble right now. So when you throw the saber while in Hyper C, if you quickly swap over to Buster, it keeps the saber animation going because it's the same weapon that he's using, but it doesn't use the 2 energy. So there's a lot of inputs going on very, very quickly to conserve 4 units of energy so that he doesn't use all of it, so that when he has to do the second saber on each of these bosses, he can just damage boost to recharge the Hyper C for the next fight. So, in essence, for Hornet, Tiger, Beetle, Buffalo, Rhino, all of them, he's going to be doing kind of a similar thing. He's going to fire the first shot, wall kick after pressing the shot button to cancel the second shot, and he's going to throw the saber, but quickly swap to Buster to not use the ammo. So if you notice his little energy bar on the Hyper C, you notice that he only used 2 energy. And then after he threw the saber, he got the Hyper C meter off screen so it doesn't take energy away, and then he just damage boosts to get his energy back to get Hyper C full again, because you can't use Hyper C unless it's completely charged. Now for Catfish here, he's actually going to expand the shots. He's going to fire him into him. It's a little faster. Okay, he does do the shot cancel, but he throws the second shot. He throws that second spiral shot into Catfish, which is pretty cool. So yeah, he's got to kill Catfish very, very quickly there. So now we do the quick kills last, solely to recharge the Hyper C. So I think Darren's going to damage boost, 3 times off of C-Force. I think you could 2-cycle Seahorse, but it leaves you, 1 bonk short of a full Hyper C when you get to Doppler. And then the Crushed Crawfish quick kill is last. And he's just going to take 1 bonk there. As you see, Darren's health is really, really low, but as long as you damage boost in all the correct places, he should be fine. So, yep, there's the quick kill from Crawfish repeated. He may pick up a health. I'm not sure. He's down to 6 HP. Okay, he was going to try to go for a quick health refill there, but he may have to pick up the one just before the Doppler door. Yeah, I think he's going to pick it up. Yeah, this looks pretty little low. Okay, so he actually only fired 1 shot, because he's going to fire the second shot to bait Doppler into putting up his regeneration field. I think. Or is he just waits? I can't remember. Okay, he already ditched the second shot. Okay, this makes sense. Okay, so he just waits for Doppler to start throwing the plasma shots, and then he hits him with the saber. And then while he's in iframes, he goes for the Hyper C trick. Okay, makes sense. Because, yeah, he needs to take damage because he still has to recharge the Hyper C. That's why. Okay. Yeah, I don't have audio on his game feed, so there's a low pitch when he takes damage, but when you hear the high pitch when he gets hit, that means his Hyper C is full. And you need to hear that high pitched chime. So he has to get hit by Sigma to get the Hyper C full here. So he's coming in with just normal X-Buster Saber. He's gonna leap right in, throw the Saber, get hit by him, and then do quick 2 shots and Saber. Hyper C full, 2 shots, turn around, Saber, dead. So all that's left is just use Hyper C out on the final boss here. Could have a 45 here if he can hit this. You can also do neon jumps with the Hyper C. So he's going to try to go for the quad neon here. Or is it triple neon? I can't remember. Oh, dang it. Nice. He got the kill. We're going to miss 45, I think, by a few seconds. But still a solid run. Yeah, we're looking at like a 46, I want to say 46 OX. But one final thing. Time will be when he loses control at the top of the climb. So when X starts walking, that is time. Yeah, low 46 with a death is really good. So that's like easy 45 without a death. So time is time.
Woohoo!
Very solid run despite the death.
Yeah, that was it's happened before. That's for sure.
Yeah, this game is a lot more technical than it has been in the past.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't been playing this category much lately, but that was really fun. This reminds me how much like really cool stuff there is in this run, for sure.
Wins 43, Darren.
43, yeah. When we figure out Beetle revisit Skip.
Get bit and bite. That'd be a lot better.
Yeah, that too.
Okay, yeah. So that
thanks,
was
Justin, for commentating.
No problem. And thanks for having Darren on for this. Was looking forward to the in-person marathon, but this will have to do. So coming up is X4, finishing up the X block.
Guys.
Hope y'all enjoyed it. And I will see you guys tomorrow for SMRPG. Keep that in mind. I got one more run. And Darren, don't you got another run too, or?
Yeah, I'm doing Circle of the Moon tomorrow night as well.
All right. Yep, Darren's got another run as well. So stay tuned tomorrow. And hope to see you all there. So we'll turn it back over to Ishii, and we'll continue on with the X block.